when it comes to the use of force, a lot of things matter. So you got this guy who's been stream sniping you, following you around, knows where you're at, etc. You had people show up at your house. He's presumably probably getting a lot of death threats. As you get more and more famous, guys, people try you, people send you weird shit. People get your phone number, people get your address, people dox you, etc. Now, we also know that this individual is on social media where he's posing with guns and shit like that. At face value, all we know as audience watching is that he ran him over in a Cybertruck. But what we don't know is what led up to that. So it doesn't matter what we think. What matters is would a reasonable person put in a clavicular situation respond the same way?
On this guy here.
Oh my fucking
Start driving with this guy. Drive.
Oh my fuck. Oh my god! You probably just ran him over, Claire. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Off the car. He was on the car.
Oh my god.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Bruh. So here's the thing, man. I actually hit Clavicular up. I told him, hey, man, get a lawyer. Don't say shit to anybody, right? Assuming this is real. You know, nothing, text, whatever. Talk to his lawyer. Obviously, that's a smart thing to do. And look, this guy, right? This individual that that Clavicular allegedly ran over. We don't know yet. You know, the nigga's bro. He's on some fucking monkey shit. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? This guy is a notorious stream sniper. He had followed Clavicular before at some other situations. So let's go ahead and see what Osmongold's got to say.
That's a bit too far. I don't think so. I think somebody jumps on your car. Somebody jumps on your car, and like this kid had a
he's got some good music taste. He's playing Whitesnake. Here I go again.
Had a habit of harassing him. I'll tell you all the.
And this guy stream sniped a couple of people, by the way. This kid, and I'll explain what stream sniping is real quick. So stream sniping, guys, is where and this is really bad in the IRL thing. This is why so many of the streamers like walk around with security. Hold on, let me get the real nigga chat going up with the memes. Okay, so this is a serious problem in the streamer community with this shit. And basically, guys, what it is now when you guys look at like IRL streamers like Neon and shit like that, they'll always have security with them if you guys notice. And the reason why is because there's something called stream snipers. And what stream snipers basically do is it's typically some guy that doesn't have an audience, that isn't famous. What they'll do is they'll see where you're at and they'll fucking pull up, right? And they'll try to like kind of clout grab from your stream. Does that make sense? Because other people, it's kind of like their way of like forcing collab on you, damn near, right? So this is a problem with IRL streamers. And it happens all the fucking time. And that's why a lot of these guys always have security with them, right? Because people try this bullshit. It's actually one of the like really negative things about live streaming, especially if you're setting up stagnant, or even if you're doing IRL streams walking around, people will do this shit to try to make a name for themselves. Now, this happens a lot more with Kick streamers because unfortunately, the demographic that Kick appeals to is like degenerative idiots that don't typically have any real skill sets. So what they do is they have to do shock value, do dumb shit like that to get clicks. So this idiot has been following Clavicular around for a bit, this guy. He followed him Art Basel, I think, as well. Let me see if I can pull the clip for you guys. I'll try to find it as Osmongold's here talking.
That's a bit too far. I don't think so. I think somebody jumps on your car. Somebody jumps on your car, and like this kid had a habit of harassing him. I'll tell you all the world that I want to live in, okay? I want to live in a world where if you harass and stalk somebody, they can run you over with their Cybertruck and kill you. That's the world that I want to live in.
Yeah, but that's not a real world, Osmongold. And this is kind of, this is where you're going to have to let the rubber meet the road when it comes to like how the world really works. What's going to happen? Okay, you know what? Let's finish seeing what he has to say, and then I'll show you guys some other stuff. Then I'm going to give you guys my full take on this thing.
That's my perfect reality. That's my version of America, okay? So yeah, I don't care about the law. I don't care about like, oh, well, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, well, you kind of have to care about it, bro, if you want to stay out of jail at least.
To do that, or I don't care about whatever your religious book says. I'm talking about what I think, and that's what I think. I think you should be able to run their ass over. Oh, voice. I know my voice is fucked up today, isn't it? It's real bad, and it's self-defense exactly. But he drove while being coked out of his mind. You support that? Well, if he had run somebody else over, I wouldn't support it, but I do support it because he ran somebody over who I think he should have run over. It's pretty simple, actually.
Okay, so I got a clip here. Same dude. Here you guys can see the stream sniper who was run over by Clavicular has been harassing and stalking streamers for months and even attacked Clavicular Neon weeks earlier. This was at Art Basel here in Miami, actually. Here he is right here. Dude looks like a crackhead, bro. And he's a short guy too. I could tell just based off Neon, because Neon's about like maybe 5'6". So this guy's even maybe around that height or shorter.
All right.
So look, you can see they got security with them. And this is what you have to do when you IRL stream a lot of times. So he spills water on them. Then they threw him. He said, I'm suing you.
Get this little guy out of here.
So he says, get this guy out of here, because I think he had been harassing him for a bit.
All right.
And then he spills the water on him. And then this is the guy again. You guys can see. You could tell this nigga like is a dummy from South Florida, bro. You could tell just from the way he's dressed and shit like that. Showing money stacks, pointing guns. Like just nigga shit, man. Straight fucking monkey bullshit. Right? Straight monkey bullshit. And then one more time. Let's watch the clip one more time here so we can get the full analysis. So he's in his Tesla truck, jumps on a car, being an idiot, clearly recording himself, cloud chaser, hits the gas.
Oh my God.
Now, we don't know if he actually ran him over or he crashed into the car. We don't have to know that for sure, chat.
Dead?
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't like that statement. Okay, so let's go through this, right? So what are the facts? Let's go through this. I'm going to put my fucking, put my Fed hat on.
FBI, open up!
And let's kind of go through this. Look, I know all the other streamers gave their opinions, but I'm going to give my more professional take on this, right? So you're a streamer, right? And you've been harassed, you've been doxxed, people have shown up to your house. As you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but people have shown up to Clav's house. I think his address got doxxed. I don't know if it was this individual that did it, but people have been going, showed up at his house, death threats, etc. Right? Now, this is all very important because this is going to lead to his state of mind. Also, as you guys can see, this individual's stream sniped him a few times. They've run in and had collisions with each other. The guy, has pictures with guns and money and all this other shit. We don't know what may have transpired behind the scenes. We don't know if this guy's threatened Clav behind the scenes, etc. So it's very important for you guys to understand that in Florida, it's a stand your ground state, right? And when it comes to use of force, right? Typically what it comes down to, is it reasonable? Would a reasonable individual act in such a manner given all the facts and circumstances, okay? And it's very also important for you guys to understand that 2020 hindsight does not come into play when it comes to use of force, okay? Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Police show up to, or not even, let's not even use police. Let's use a regular individual. You're out one day, right? Walking down the street. Individual comes up to you, pulls out what looks to you to be a gun, right? You pull out your gun and you shoot and you kill him, right? Police show up on the scene after the fact. Obviously, you're detained. They conduct their investigation. They find out that the gun was plastic. It wasn't real, okay? Gun wasn't real. So you basically shot somebody that was trying to rob you with a plastic gun. Now, people would say, oh, well, shouldn't you go to jail because, it was a plastic gun. It wasn't real. Your life wasn't really in danger. Well, that's not what matters. What matters is, what would a reasonable person have done in that situation? Was the use of force reasonable? Okay? Now, if you had not known that it was a plastic gun, a reasonable person would react that way. They would shoot them before they get shot. So that use of force situation makes it a clean shoot. Okay? So that's how use of force is used in the United States, typically for self-defense especially. Okay? Especially like in a state like Florida where stand your ground, etc. So was the use of force reasonable? Would a reasonable person, be likely to believe that they were in serious or imminent danger where they can get some serious bodily injury or death? If the answer is yes, then the shoot is clean. So even though the gun was plastic and you shot and you killed them, a reasonable person would respond in that way. So you're covered. Now, when it comes to the clavicular situation, number one, I don't know if he actually ran a guy over and we don't know what the injuries are. And you know what? Let me find, there's a video on this.
A surprising bout of fight.
So here's my guy, by the way, Andrew Branca. If you guys don't know, I've had him on my show before. Nice guy.
Is there a difference between self-defense with the different types of weapons? So I would imagine the laws are pretty much the same, even if it's like a gun, a knife, in terms of it's still reasonable doubt not reasonable doubt.
The law doesn't really care what weapon you use. It cares a lot about the amount of force you're using. So the law of self-defense puts force into two buckets. There's non-deadly force, force not likely to cause death or serious bodily injury, and there's deadly force, which means more than death that can kill you. It means force can cause death or serious bodily injury. So a maiming injury, a broken bone, that's deadly force, even if you would never have died from it. So once you're in the deadly force bucket, you're being threatened with deadly force and you're using deadly force in self-defense, the law doesn't care how you do that. It could be using a knife. It could be using a gun. It could be running someone over with your car.
There you go.
It could be something from the Wile E. Coyote cartoons where you drop a piano from a great height onto their head. It doesn't really matter. The law cares a lot about whether the conditions for deadly force have been met, but it doesn't really care a lot about what form the deadly force takes.
Yeah. And again, it comes down to, were you in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death, right? Now, here's the thing. Some people might say, oh, well, Myron, Clavicular was in his car. He was in a Cybertruck. He was protected. Well, here's the thing. We don't know what Clavicular knew at the time. Very fucking important, chat, okay? If Clav can articulate, well, he had a gun. I know he had a gun. He had been harassing us for a bit. He pulled up his shirt and I saw it, etc. That all gives him ammunition to be able to justify running him over, okay? And this is why it's so important to understand everything. This is why I told y'all, like, use of force and using deadly force, it's never done on 2020 hindsight, because there's going to be facts known to Clavicular that we might not know. When it comes to the use of force, right? A lot of things matter, okay? State of mind, what had transpired before, what you may or may not have known. All of these things play into it, right? So as you guys know, and I'm putting this out there so you guys understand. So you got this guy who's been stream sniping you, following you around, knows where you're at, etc. You had people show up at your house. He's presumably probably getting a lot of death threats. As you get more and more famous, guys, people try you, people send you weird shit, people get your phone number, people get your address, people dox you, etc. Now, we also know that this individual is on social media where he's posing with guns and shit like that, okay? Now, at face value, all we know as the audience watching is that he ran him over in a fucking Cybertruck, right? But what we don't know is what led up to that. Yes, we know that he stream sniped him and he had pictures, but we don't know. Maybe that day, Clavicular saw that he had a gun. Maybe this guy had been threatening him, sending him messages like, hey, I'm going to smoke you next time I see you, right? Maybe he said, hey, me and my people are going to find you, right? So that when he did run in and stream snipe him that time, Clavicular might have felt like, okay, my life's in danger. This guy's going to try something this time, right? All of these factors come into play, guys, right? And this is why 2020 hindsight is never used when it comes to self-defense, because all the pertinent facts on that situation and that use of force is what matters. And that's gonna basically allow you to justify your actions, right? So it doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what the attorney thinks. It doesn't matter what the judge thinks. What matters is, would a reasonable person put in a Clavicular situation respond the same way? And unfortunately, we don't know all the facts. We can speculate, but we don't know all the facts. We know that this individual stream snipes him, harasses him, carries firearms from his own photos, but we don't know what other communication he's had with Clavicular. Maybe he threatened Clavicular on the side. Maybe he threatened a friend. Maybe he told him, I'm going to find you. I know what your address is. Maybe when Clavicular seen him that day, he saw him with a weapon. We don't know any of this stuff. So the only person that's going to be able to really justify is going to be Clavicular himself. There's a reason why, guys, right? When it comes to testifying in court, I've told you guys this before. You know, most defendants almost never take the stand, right? And the reason why most defendants never take the stand is because they don't want to be cross-examined, right? On direct examination, your defense attorney is going to ask you a bunch of questions. Then on cross, the prosecutor is going to ask you a bunch of questions that could put you in a very bad spot. Now, here's the difference. The one time where it makes sense, even though it's extremely dangerous and risky, to put someone on the stand is when? Self-defense cases. And the reason why is because only the shooter, only the person that conducted the use of force can really articulate everything that was transpiring at the time, okay? Only they truly can, because only they can tell you, this is what happened. This is what was going through my mind. This is why I pulled the trigger at this point. And the only person that's going to be able to recall these intimate, sensitive details is going to be the shooter most of the time. This is why Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand. Everybody laughs at him for crying, but him crying saved his life. Because it's one thing to watch the video, but it's another thing to watch the video and then have him explain why he pulled the trigger on that day. I actually met him at Amfest. But only the shooter a lot of the times can articulate this. You don't know what's going through their mind, right? So the answer when it comes to Clavicular stuff is obviously, look, don't talk to anyone. I told them this already. Don't talk to anyone. Don't make any statements, etc. Get with your lawyer. Can this be a self-defense situation? Absolutely. Can he beat this? Absolutely. I hope he beats it. But the only person that's going to know all the facts is going to be 9 out of 10 times the shooter, which is why the shooter almost always goes up on it. Not almost always, but a lot of the times shooters have to go up on a stand. But give me ones if that all makes sense, guys. I think that's probably one of the most thorough breakdowns on this situation that you guys are going to get. OSS only, baby. For what it's worth, I hope Clavicular beats it and nothing happens to him. I think he has a promising future. So I hope nothing happens, and I hope he beats it. God forbid he does get arrested or anything like that. But can he beat it? Absolutely. We're just going to need to know all the facts that went into his decision to hit the gas. And I would say he might know some facts that we don't. He's the only person that could put that piece in. Yeah. My goal here, guys, is to, educate you guys on this stuff. None of us can really say if he's guilty or not, bro, because we don't know all the facts, unfortunately. And that's how use of force goes. This is why a lot of the times, like, for example, when Zimmerman won, everyone was like, oh, what the fuck? And they got all pissed off, right?
Welcome, punch!
But the reality is, when you look at all the facts, though people might not like Zimmerman, he acted in a reasonable fashion. He thought his life was going to die. He got slammed in the back of the head. He could have potentially lost consciousness. He shot Trayvon Martin and killed him. It was a very disliked verdict. A lot of people were not happy with that verdict. But why? Because when the shooter opens up their mouth and tells all the facts, a lot of the times it comes off as reasonable, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens.